I'll have to look that up for you, Mark.
Appreciate that.
Should we say for this one, under the left hand, the priority would be to, so it's not just about, it wouldn't be just encouraging food security initiatives because it's more than food, I guess, eh? So what would be the goal, the strategic goal? Encourage, because the actual measure might be participating with the Strathcona Food Hub, or maybe that's the goal. Okay, that's the goal. Participate with the Strathcona Food Hub. And then what would be the measure? Provide services that include health, food. Your mouth is full, or I can wait for you.
The main goal is to make sure that there's adequate food for everyone. And out of that comes the different resources that it promotes socialization and reduces isolation, gives people a sense of belonging in the community. So all of those social components are really important too.
So we have this Plan H. The Plan H grant could be used to support this work, which was kind of the same thing as, you know, kindling kindness and community connectedness. So there's some funds in the community. Plan H grant has $5,000. It's got to be used up by September. So that's another thing that we could put that in here as to utilize Plan H grants to support community connectedness, maybe. And that could include, so falling out of that would be this food hub, the Strathcona Food Hub, the mental health, the connectedness, housing. Okay, and that is it. So we can add, of course, anything at any time. So what would happen now is we'll write this all up and council will look at it at a regular council meeting. And at that time, if there's other things that you want to add, you can do that. You can do it at any time, obviously, just like you amend your financial plan on a regular basis. The benefit of this is that it really helps you in the next year as you complete your mandates to really get sort of focused. And it's a bit of a document that you can use to let other people know in the community what's important to you as a council.
Okay, thank you very much to CAO and for
Sorry.
all participating. Sorry, Councillor Tinsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to add the CAO brought up a very good point for consideration under this last area of operations, which is the liability of those sunken ships. I think we've kind of missed that one, and I think it's important to put in this section.
Okay, thank you very much. CEO is adding that now.
Yeah, so I guess the priority would be to maybe to seek ways to reduce the risk of the sunken. Are they there as a sort of a what are they called again? Breakwater. So seek ways to reduce liability associated with breakwaters, ships, or is that the goal?
Yes, but however, the foreshore agreement, wouldn't they fall under those individuals that have that foreshore?
Some of them. So in other words, the Roger Paquette lease, you mean, or the Western? And there's five of them.
Yeah, Roger Paquette's,
Yeah.
because there's a breakwater there, and through Island Timber.
I don't know. I think that maybe that is the goal, is to explore. You know, we don't really know who holds that ownership or who holds that liability. But you could be sure that the village would be on the list because it's within the boundaries. So, but it may be something that is, I don't think Roger's lease goes that far. Yeah, well, I guess that's the priority, is to explore who, to find out more about those ships. So what are we going to call this? So the point is to carry out, to determine ownership and responsibility. There you go. Ownership and responsibility and liability, I guess, or well, that's responsibility. And then the measure would be, to protect public from risk of harm. So determine the ownership and responsibility of the 5 breakwater ships, and to develop strategies to reduce risk, maybe. And then the measure would be a plan, I guess, a plan in place to manage the breakwaters. Which, it might be removal of them, it might be signage, it might, signage would be a good start because it protects you, at least if you've warned people to stay away. Right now, there's a couple of signs, but not enough probably. So probably that is a liability to protect by better signage. And maybe we need to talk to municipal insurance because they are always giving advice on risk because they are the underwriter. So that would be good.
I'm not certain, but I think in the working waterfront plan, there is some reference to the ships down there. And I do believe at one time Roger was going to be looking into getting those removed, but in the ensuing years, the working waterfront has kind of fallen by the wayside. So involvement with him would be a good plan too.
Councillor Craig.
Yes, your Mayor. Sue is correct. The working waterfront concept had removal options for them and to replace the breakwaters in the concept itself. So the risk and the assessment has already been looked at, and a strategy was already tabled for it. I do, however, vehemently agree with Councillor Tinsley that being that we both share a risk management background, a plan to either limit, minimize, or mitigate that risk to the actual ownership of those properties would be, I would say, first and foremost, number 1 on my priority to-do list as far as they go. And I would like to see them removed and replaced with something better and more able to accommodate tourism. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, even just platforms around them would be helpful, with railings and things, stairs up there. That could be nice viewing to, over top of them. As it sounds like it'd be a real job to remove them, but.
Well, WFP pointed out the fact of, in terms of the insurance and liability from people using the spit.
Mm-hmm.
So by mandating to them to put some type of viewing platform on there when they're looking in the direction right now of actually eliminating that access or turning the insurance cost over to us,
Mm-hmm.
could be a little sticky at this point.
Well, also, it sounded from our KFN meeting that, that there might be an interest from KFN in that lease. That sounds like they're anxious to acquire that. So, that might take some time, but it could be part of, they may negotiate part of that removal. Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess, unless they work out a deal with Roger before that. But I don't, maybe part of the selection process might, sometimes they can maybe negotiate those things to be part of the deal. I don't know, but it might be something to work with KFN on, and with Western. It would be a good project for the parties to work together on because everybody has an interest.
Okay, well, that's it for that portion of the program from the strategic planning session. So we're going into public question period. There is nobody online or nobody here for the public question period, but the purpose of the public question period is to enable citizens to ask questions about issues that are important to the citizens asking the question. Speakers are asked to limit their question to one each, and if time permits, everyone would have the opportunity to ask a question. Speakers may ask a second question. Citizens will be asked to state their name and address. Now we are going to be going into camera. Prepare to go into camera. The recommended resolution is that in accordance with section 92 of the community charter, the council meeting will be closed to the public at this time, and the council may give consideration to the matters in accordance with section 90-1C of the community charter, discuss labor relations, and other employee relations.
Mr. Chair, can I suggest that we stop the recording for this portion of the meeting?
If we know how,
I can do that.
yes. Just prior to that, is everybody okay with ending the special council meeting for 2022 for November 20th, 2022, pardon me, 21st? That's it? Everybody's approved? Great, we're done.